Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to Lakeside Stadium. The exciting start of the Victorian Premier League season. It is South Melbourne up against the Moreland Zebras. My name is Mark Van Aken. I'll be in commentary with you today. Big crowd on hand for our very first game of the season, and we're glad to be with you. A few technical hitches before going live. We won't talk about those. We're here now, and wherever you are listening or tuning in today, right around the world on the World Wide Web, we welcome you. I'll take you through the lineups this afternoon. As you can see, the kids, the South Melbourne Piranhas, the juniors out there on the pitch at the moment, as well as some of the kids from the Moreland Zebras. First off for the home side, South Melbourne in goal. Number 1, Peter Gavalas. Number 2, Tom Matthews. Number 4, Steve O'Dore. Number 6, Dimi Ciaris. Number 9, Trent Rickson. Number 10, Glenn Trefiro. Number 11, Brad Norton. Number 13, Luke Biles. Number 15, Fernando Damarez. Number 23, Jason Trefiro. And number 25, Kyle Joyev on the bench today for South Melbourne. Number 8, Dimi Hatzimoratis. Number 17, Marco Budimir. Number 20, Gianni Danidis. Number 22, Philip Petreski. And number 21, Jason Saldaris. And for the Moreland Zebras in goal, number 1, Griffin McMaster. Number 2, Chris Grossman. Number 3, Raymond Lally. Number 4, William Abbott. Number 7, Stuart Nicholson. Number 8, Carl Recchia. Number 9, Vincent Faraday. Number 11, Stephen Weir. Number 4, Jungo Kim. Number 15, Ersin Kaya. And number 19, Nache Cosma. The bench for the Zebras. Number 12, Luca Riardo. Number 13, Brandon Zafina. Number 5, Dejan Rajicic. And 18, Nelson Salvatore. Number 21, Philip Petrovsky. That's the lineup today for the Moreland Zebras, who have had yet another name change. They've had plenty of names throughout the ages. The latest incarnation of the club, the Moreland Zebras, who are playing their home matches this year out in Whittlesea territory, out there at Epping Stadium. Of course, a venue very familiar to Victorian football fans. We are about 5 minutes away from kick-off. Brand spanking new Lakeside Stadium. And fans that used to come here in the NSL days, to the right of camera, we've got the ultimate jumping castle. South Melbourne was quite famous for its jumping castle back in the day. Well, they've got a soccer ball shaped one now, or football shaped, I should say. Fantastic to see. Fantastic to see too. Fernando Damarez just heading down the race. Had a swag of injury problems. He's had plenty of operations over the last 12, 18 months. And it'll be warming the hearts of South Melbourne fans to see him back in the starting lineup today. Trent Rickson, of course, come over. We should talk about the coaches, of course. Peter Salakis making his way to South Melbourne. He was a player at South Melbourne of great note, as was his dad. The South Melbourne in blue and white program here. He tells us in his little editorial he's happy to be back home spiritually, back here at Lakeside. Well, for Whittlesea, coaching staff there, the assistant coach Jeff Olver, of course, Socceroo legend between the sticks, and Dominic Barber, a man who's been around Victorian football for a long time. He's in charge, the team manager Adam Larkham. And I can spot there's a definite Norfolk City feel, of course, at South Melbourne, with the gaffer Salakis making his way over, of course, Trent Rickson, not to mention the Trefiro brothers, Jason and Glenn. And I even noticed Peter Jim Macro, a Northcote stalwart. I saw him down the race a little bit earlier in the South Melbourne colours. Well, certainly I assume he's here representing South. If you're not Jim, I'm sure you'll let me know during the week. But it seems that even some of the off-field staff have been brought over here to Lakeside Stadium. I'll keep talking about it throughout the afternoon. It is exciting to be here at this completely refurbished venue. We longed for a grandstand on the other side when this was the showpiece venue. Of course, Amy Park has taken the mantle as our number 1 rectangular stadium here in Melbourne, and Bob Jane, or Lakeside, I'm going to keep saying Bob Jane, Lakeside Stadium. Of course, you can see the crowd healthily building up. Those terraces that were once behind the goals are a little bit further away, so I think we're going to see, particularly as winter sets in, that a lot of the viewing here down at South Melbourne is done from either side of the ground on the wings. Even the famous Clarendon corner, the South Melbourne supporters, I'll probably get some flack for this, but they've gone the soft option by jumping up into the grandstand. They tell me that you can just see on screen right now, that's Clarendon corner, that's where they should be. But of course now with the running track here, home of the VIS and Athletics Victoria, that they've chosen to get a bit of a better view from up in the grandstand, and who can blame them? I'm sure they'll be out in full voice, still making plenty of noise, supporting their blue and white team, of course, a 4-time national champion, Oceania Team of the Century. And I should know this, but I think it might be 7 or 8 Victorian Premier League titles, but may even be more. I know certainly more titles than that, but it goes back to sort of State 1, State 2, that sort of stuff. And if I'm not mistaken too, and apologise, we are here at a South Melbourne game. It's a very South Melbourne flavoured pre-match from me, but the famous Leftieri, the trumpeter of the club, is here today. And I've got to say, I have not seen him since the NSL days. So it looks like it's a homecoming in many ways here for South Melbourne. And of course, exciting times for the Moreland Zebras. As you said, they've had some name changes. They've had some mergers and demergers over the years. This time it's a simple name change, so it's still the famous zebra black and white stripes that we're used to seeing. Their team, Chris Grossman, a former Brisbane Roar, North Queensland man, number 2, looking to earn his stripes, pardon the pun today. Also an Irish connection, ×2 for Moreland today. Raymond Lally, who played with them. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. If you've got anyone in Ireland tuning in, you'll let me know. But the Cobber Ramblers is where he's played his football, and also number 9, Vince Faraday, who's played in the UEFA Europa League, and he's now here playing in the Victorian Premier League. It is the world game, of course. Stephen Weir, an ex-Hume man, and another international part of the jigsaw puzzle for Moreland Zebras is Junga Kim from Korea. Fantastic young AIS player, number 15, Ersin Kaya. A lot expected from him, slotting in, the youngster, into the lineup today. And also on the bench for the Zebras, number 12, Luca Riardo. I'm pretty sure he makes his way over from the North Geelong Warriors. So both these teams have done plenty of recruiting. A number of players making their debut for each club here today, including, as I mentioned, Trent Rickson, a former Golden Boot winner in this competition. He was the skipper at Northcote City. He held the Mirabella Cup, as Joe Mirabella just walks past our box here. He held the Mirabella Cup aloft just around 6 months ago in a cracking culmination of a cup competition. It's made its way back here in Victoria after a long, long wait from the old days of the Doherty Cup. We've finally got the drought's over, so to speak. The drought in terms of cup football and the drought in terms of the actual weather. We returned to the famous cup competition last year, and it was, of course, Northcote City taking that silverware away from the Arthur Pappas coached Oakley Cannons. Pappas has moved on. Brief stint at Melbourne Heart, now an assistant coach, a senior assistant coach with the Newcastle Jets. Just one of the coaching changes, as we noted already. Peter Salakis is one of them here. Can't be too far away from the players gracing us with their presence on the ground. The kids looking a little impatient, waving the flags. In terms of a crowd, just having a look around. We are, of course, in the main grandstand, so we're shooting out to the part of the venue where there's not quite as many people, although there's a few over there on the far side of the ground. A couple of hundred in that brand new grandstand, giving a great vantage point. Despite the running track, when you're elevated like we are right now, you get a great view of this fantastic venue. Talking to people here at South Melbourne, it's been a long wait, of course, playing all their games over the last year or so out at Northcote City, which in some ways, as we hear the Clarendon Corner getting into voice, I'll leave with that for a sec. And as we can see, the zebra down there, he's trackside, he doesn't like it. Trying to fire up the fans. He's just parading around with the South Melbourne faithful. He's shaking a few blue and white hands. All's fair and love and war in football, of course. As the roll call comes out for the players, I'll run you through them again very quickly. For South Melbourne, number 1, Peter Gavalas. Number 2, Tom Matthews. Number 4, Steve Ozor. Number 6, Dimi Ciaris. Number 9, Trent Rickson. Number 10, Glenn Trefiro. Number 11, Brad Norton. Number 13, Luke Biles. Number 15, Fernando de Moraes. Number 23, Jason Trefiro. And number 25, Kyle Joyef. On the bench today for South Melbourne, number 8, Dimi Hatzimuradis. Number 17, Marco Burumea. Number 20, Gianni Danidis. Number 22, Philip Petreski. Number 21, Jason Saldatis. And today for the Moreland Zebras, number 1, Griffin McMaster. Number 2, Chris Grossman. Number 13, Raymond Lally. Number 4, William Abbott. Number 7, Stuart Nicholson. Number 8, former South Melbourne man Carl Recchia. Number 9, Vincent Faraday. Number 11, Stephen Weir. Number 14, Jungo Kim. Number 15, Ursin Kaya. And number 19, Nache Cosma. You can see the electronic scoreboard here at Bob Jane. I know the operators, friends with them on Facebook, and they've been spruiking that all summer until I walked in for the pre-season, not the pre-season, the pre-game, then the 21s. Notice there's no time clock on the scoreboard. So I walked in and gave them the requisite pat on the back and said, it's fantastic looking venue, boys, but maybe next week. And they have worked out a way to put a little super of the clock, but that won't happen until next week. And this is great because this serves as a reminder for me, as the players are just seconds away, to set the clock for the game, because we're not going to see it on the scoreboard here today. As we pan around, marvellous new venue. So never fear, folks, the stopwatch is now set, and we'll be keeping you in touch. In fact, you at home watching VPL Live will be kept up to date with the time and, of course, the score. Taking you through some of the results, of course, from this is not the first game of the weekend by any stretch. It's Sunday evening. Green Gully 4-1 winners on Friday night. Let's have a look through some of the others. Dandy Thunder smashing the Southern Stars 4-0. So not a great start in top flight for Dean Hennessy's boys at Southern Stars. And we'll just grab a few more of those. As we said, it was Bentley 4, Green Gully 1, so I'll correct myself on that one. So again, Green Gully, the reigning champs. Not a fantastic way to start the season. And the other result, Northcote City beating Richmond 2-1. So Northcote proving there is life after the Trefiros. Players on the ground now in South Melbourne in a grey strip, not the familiar blue and white. And it's quite a presentation it looks like we're going to get. We mentioned this is a homecoming for South Melbourne. They have been away and they're now back home. The club, of course, been in this precinct for half a century. Folks at home, we're just going to be taking a moment's silence for some fallen South Melbourne players. We'll be back in a moment. So, remembrance observed for, amongst others, John Bedford. The pomp and ceremony of the return to Lakeside Stadium, the kids making their way off the pitch. As we said, South Melbourne in a silver strip. Half time, I'll try and have a chat to the officials here at South, see if there's any special significance to that, or whether it's just the club showing off a slightly different look. Got to say, it's going to be a little bit unfamiliar. First game back, we would have expected perhaps the famous blue and white. As we said, we'll find out what the story is there. Or knowing the game a little bit, it might have even been just simple delivery problems of kits. It certainly happened in the A-League earlier this year with a number of teams getting their kits just day before the season. Who knows? We will get to the bottom of that. All's in readiness, not far away now from the start, of course. If you are at home, you're obviously online. Hit us up on the VPL Facebook page. Hopefully it will be a cracking start, certainly a cracking start to our VPL live coverage for season 2012. South Melbourne, a strong recruiting drive in the off-season, as mentioned. Very much focused around Peter Salakis' recruitment and his recruitment then of some of his gun players from Northcote City. A Northcote City team, you must say, that has impressed many in the last couple of years. A team that for a long time has drifted through different divisions of the game, but their time in the Victorian Premier League in recent years have been halcyon days for the club. Fantastic work, fantastic venue, I must say, with both South and Northcote playing there. We were out there quite a bit last year. Beautiful venue to call football from and to get you the pictures. And no doubt we'll be out there at Northcote City, who have had a good start to the season already. We'll be out there throughout the campaign, bringing you more action on VPL Live. Trent Rickson is a towering figure. Plenty of weight being put onto his broad shoulders. He's worked his way up over the last couple of years. Hard to believe he was playing State League 2 not too long ago. And here he is, one of the genuine stars of the Victorian Premier League, a competition, of course, we proudly down here in Victoria boast is the best in the country outside of the Hyundai A-League, which, of course, comes to its culmination this afternoon. But we know you're turning off Fox Sports right now and trying to tune in to us here at Lakeside Stadium. It's going to take a bit of getting used to, folks, I can tell you. Bob Jane, of course, the name of this place for, I dare say, about 14 years. I was walking into the stadium, and one of the South Melbourne fans asked me where the gates were, and I said, well, they're still where they were. So if you are coming in late, somehow streaming this on your phone, one, you've got some awesome internet connection on your phone, congrats for that, but two, the gates are still where they once were, although there is still plenty of construction around this zone. Down to first, the office is still being built at the back. South Melbourne at the moment, based out of MSAC, they will be moving back to their more traditional home at the back of this grandstand from where you're seeing the vision right now shortly. But also, we did have a little bit of an event around here last week. Of course, the Australian Formula One Grand Prix. It's a great sporting precinct. MSAC just over the way, of course, Commonwealth Games venue for swimming, amongst other things. Great sporting little hub here. In South Melbourne, I know, are pleased to be part of it. And back home, it's going to be Moreland to kick off. I mentioned it's going to be hard to stop calling this place Bob Jane. It's going to be hard not to call these guys Whittlesea, but I will do my best. It's the Zebras who start off. Fukaya, former AAS lad. Straight through the back. Abbott. Defers out to Recchia. Looks to go long straight away. He was seeking out Faraday, the Irishman. But big Steve O'Dore was wise to it. Steve O'Dore, brief stint with the New Zealand Knights in the A-League, but has been at South for a long time now. One of the favourite sons. And to be fair, certainly from this commentator's opinion, one of the best defenders in Australia playing outside of that National League competition. Chopped off now by Grossman down the right flank. Wins a throw in for the Zebras. Grossman goes short into Faraday. Look for those two to combine. Ball comes in to the 18-yard box. South Melbourne defence equal to it. Clearing through, looking for Rickson. William Abbott. Looks like a bit of a Rutger Verm look-alike from the Melbourne Heart. Whistle going there. Foul going Lely's way. Lely has played UEFA Europa League football, so we'd look for some class from him as he puts a diagonal long ball down for his countryman, Faraday. This time the throw will go South Melbourne's way. Jason Trapiro just gets a little bit of a tension there. Referee coming in. Definitely no card, but Steve O'Dore is quite happy to come in and let him know that that's not acceptable, and there's a little bit of push and shove. Boys being boys, round 1 VPL action. And the referee probably thought he had a simple little chat. South Melbourne fans calling for off. I dare say we won't be seeing red or yellow at this early stage, but the ref will be in the ears of the lads. Just tell them to leave it out. Right now, Carl Recchia, player with immense experience, makes his way down from defence. From attack, I should say, just to have a chat. So after all that, it's South Melbourne with the throw-in, or a free kick in fact. Might look to go wide into our right flank here to Grossman. That's a Matthews, I should say. Instead, they come across the face, so Dorr will have to be quick here. He clears. The Zebras fly. De Moreland looking to get into the game. South Melbourne and the elbow coming in from Raymond Lally. Getting physical very early. The Zebras. Letting South know. Now that one from Tom Matthews went across the pitch. Not sure his opposite number. Might be Ciaris knew much about that. Long ball for South. Won't net much. Another clash of bodies. Ref says this one goes South's way. Brad Norton, the former Adelaide United man, gets us back underway. Norton in tight space to Jace Trefiro. Now sends it wide. Matthews. South Melbourne retreating. To reload, it's Biles. Sends it left and trying to work the 1-2 there with South Melbourne. And another crunching tackle from the Zebras. So as I was saying before, healthy crowd in here at Lakeside. The bulk of the fans in the main grandstand, you won't see them too much. But on a fantastic autumn day here in Melbourne, the fans have come out for round 1. It's great to see. Matthews on the right flank for South, being tracked by Kim, the Korean. Matthews gives a second effort, sends it down to Griffin McMaster. Looks for Kim, well over the head. This one will go back South Melbourne's way. So Matthews had plenty to do early. Rickson just shapes it down. Only found his opponent, Lally. And Peter Gavalas in goal today for South Melbourne. He starts the play, sends it wide down the left flank for Brad Norton. Just a little bit too much on it for him to control. Gavalas. A permanent fixture in the Victorian Premier League. Here at South via, of course, the Bentley Greens. Some creative play here for South Melbourne. For Furo. Turns on a thrippity bit. But too clever by half. The Zebras mop up. Look to send themselves into attack, but only momentarily. Ciaris. For Furo. Out for Matthews, who'll look to go back to Steve O'Dore. So a cautious start for South Melbourne. For both teams, you would say. O'Dore, let's go short. Matthews, Kim was there. Telegraphed that one, and the Korean was there to send it into touch. Furo to O'Dore, sends it all the way back to Gavalas. Luke Biles joins South from Heidelberg United. Sends a long one. And some of the players there wanted offside the Moreland Zebras. They got it. Lewis Kaya, number 15, was the first one to stick the armour. And the assistant referee obliged him. Recchia will leave this one for McMaster. Goes long, missed his target man, but Kim was there to mop up. Let's see what he can do. Not much on the first attempt. Pocket picked, but he's still going. Third effort. Chipping it around, and the flag goes up again, that one. So, not sure what to make of that little bit of play there from Jungo Kim. Showed some cunning, then coughed it up, then got it back again. And it's that second effort that Coach Dominic Barber would be pleased with. As mentioned pre-match, he's assisted Tommy Barber by Jeff Olver, who needs very little introduction, who's been a star, is Rickson. Sends it out wide, Joyev. He's waiting for something. Oh, and he wanted to give it back for Rickson. And Rickson was frustrated there because he knows if he continued his run, he would have been one-on-one with Griffin McMaster in South Melbourne. Might be a goal to the good. As it happens, we're up the other end of the park. And Steve O'Dore sends it out. So just a moment. I won't say brilliance, but certainly some great play there from Joyev. Was looking for the cavalry to come. It came. Put the ball through. And Trent Rickson, who we know can score goals in this league, would be frustrated with that one. Kaya will take the throw here. The Zebras. Unorthodox was that one. Went in for Vincent Faraday, and Faraday looking up. Just perhaps questioning. It was a bold move, to say the least, by Kaya, trying to catch the South Melbourne defence off guard. Unfortunately, on this occasion, it also caught his forwards off guard. So South, through Biles, just to hold on to it for a moment. Zebras just sitting off. Sends it to the left side of midfield. He was looking for Glenn Trefiro, but he wasn't there. Zebras now a chance, but they're being tracked by that man again, Trefiro. And a aimless ball down the line from Grossman. Played plenty of football at the North Queensland Fury, I should say. 44 games, netted 5 occasions. Also spent some time at the Brisbane Roar. Certainly played the bulk of his A-League football at the now defunct North Queensland franchise as Jason Tafida in tight spaces. Gives it up to Joyev. Joyev just, ooh. And I reckon he might cop a yellow for that one. He does. So Kyle Joyev. South Melbourne fans protest. But from this angle, which is a pretty good angle, we're just on halfway here. That one definitely needed to go in the book. So the first bit of paperwork for the referee coming around the 10-minute mark here at Lakeside Stadium. You have just joined us. Around 10 minutes played. South Melbourne 0, the Moreland Zebras 0. Ball coming down. There's plenty of grey shirts there, or silver shirts for South to clear. Rickson now a chance. Clash of bodies. It's Abbott for the Zebras. Kim just barged into by Matthews. And Fernando de Moraes is getting in on a bit of the argy-bargy. Rickson, another sliding tackle with the ref do. He's going to the pocket. And that's another yellow card issued, this time to Raymond Lally, the Irishman. It's St. Paddy's Day last week. He was seeing green. Today he's seeing yellow. Bit of byplay between Dom Barber and Tom Matthews on the sideline. Tom giving him his version of events. Dom giving Tom his. And needless to say, they probably don't quite match up. So Trent Rickson gets up a little ginger. But she'll be right, mate, as they would say. South with a great opportunity. It looks like it's going to be Glenn Trefiro. Now is it? Either Glenn Trefiro here or Brad Norton to take the free kick. We could offer odds, but it's definitely going to be Norton. So let's see what he can do, curling this in with the left foot. It's good. Gavalas has got it though. He's got the hat on. He's looking into the sun. It's always been a nightmare going back to the NSL days for keepers. Looking into that summer sun or the autumn sun as we've got right now. But Griffin McMaster well and truly equal to it on that occasion. He's wearing the hat. Comes away with it. Meantime, Moreland have a throw in. Well and truly an attacking area here. Kim probably didn't control it as he would have liked. Safira looks to pick the pocket, and just like that, South are on the counter. Looking for Joy F. Safira again had a man on. He sensed it. The spider senses were tingling. And now sent it back. South trying to go route one. Another. Certainly nothing too much in it, but an industrial tackle there from Raymond Lally. And although there wasn't too much must on it, he is sitting on a yellow. He's going to have to watch himself. Matthews. He's got two on him here. Wins the throw in. Fafiro. Jason Fafiro in for Rickson. Gets the head up. McMaster is limp in the end. But just a snapshot of what can be expected with both of these Fafiro boys in the lineup for South Melbourne. Just on the quarter hour. And so far, you'd expect that South Melbourne happy with their investment in both. This fella right here, number 23, Jason Tafiro, who sends it in. Flag goes up for Fernando, who is offside. As we mentioned in the pre-match, didn't play a lot of football last year. He's a futsal roo as well. Missed the recent tour to Asia, where if I'm not mistaken, the futsal roos won their way through to the World Cup. Got plenty of mates in the futsal fraternity who will correct on that if I'm wrong, but the point is that Fernando was not a part of it because he's had a series of operations over the pre-season. And although, truth be known, futsal is probably closer to his heart than the 11-a-side game. It's the 11-a-side game we're watching right now. Kim, set up for him, traps, turns, and then fires it straight into the defence of Matthews. But again, just showing some glimpses of what might be possible. Trafiro, Matthews, Kim will chop it. Goes into the middle. Another chance now. And it's Nachi Cosma from the top of the 18-yard box who just sends it wide. But back to Fernando. Loves his five-a-side football, but it's the 11-a-side, of course, here at South Melbourne that he holds dear as well. So Moreland showing that if you give them half a chance, particularly on the left-hand side here through number 14, Jungo Kim, that they will certainly take them. And Cosma probably could have done a little bit better. Golden opportunity there, top of the D. That said, Matthews here, number 2 for South. Had a mountain of work channeled through him down the right flank. De Moraes looks for Rickson. Only finds Abbott. But Abbott, although he got to it first, couldn't get the control. De Moraes, Rickson. Trafiro, correct himself. Trafiro. Fernando. Ooh, Rickson was free in the box. A telling play there from Kaya for the Zebras. Just chopping it off. Rickson's off to the races if that one got through. Long ball for the Zebras. Not putting up too many problems for Biles as another whistle. Another shrug of the shoulders, this time from the Zebras players. Damoraes. Ciaris throws it wide. Matthews being tracked. Jason Trafiro to his brother in the box. And Rekia didn't know much about it, but saved it all the same. Long ball. Hit up by Gavalas. He'd come off his line, he'd taken the gamble, and for a second it looked like a poor one. It ended up a good one. Trafiro. Joyef. De Moraes again. Just bouncing around in the midfield. What will South muster here? A clever chip to Matthews. Down the line for Joyef. Some on the right hand side. Looks to go inside. Kim. He stopped it. He didn't know he did. And in the end, the throw will go his way. Nearly 20 gone. Clash of bodies. Ref says play on. As the Zebras through Weir. Next Hugh man, and then interesting tackle, to say the least, coming in there from Dimi Cianis. Not worthy of anything more than a whistle from the referee. But already in the opening 20 minutes here at Lakeside, it's been willing. This is the way I describe. Boos ringing out for Carl Recchia. Man very familiar with the pitch here, down here at Lakeside. Lally is waiting for some runs. Goes into a tight space to Kim. That was ambitious. So they're trying to be inventive here, the Zebras. Trying to work in tight spaces. The intent is there. The execution so far is not. Here's, of course, round one in a very long 22-week season plus finals. Carl Recchia. Well, we've got the running track around us here at Lakeside now, so not sure how much of the boos you can hear, but the Boo Boys are certainly out in force for Carl Recchia today here at South. And this one, in association with Lally, he's turned it over. It's Glenn Trafiro. Straight down the line, Rickson. Is it a 1-2? Looking the ball down the flank now, South, but it's lost. Cosma, a good opportunity not long ago. And Moreland, he's coughed that up. De Moraes trying to get a clever little back heel into Rickson. It doesn't come off. And another clash of bodies in the middle there. I think it might have been Ersin Kaya, the former AIS lad. It was, and he's just having a chat to the ref now, asking, what happened to my legs there, pal? The ref saying, get on with it. Abbott just sends one long, and Peter Salakis just outside of his technical area right now, just giving a little bit of advice. Matthews, De Moraes into the middle. Rickson's not there, Recchia is. We're also copping the boos for, I guess, perhaps obvious reasons. Trafiro. Norton. Ball comes in. Recchia is there again. So good at that, Carl. Just marshalling the defence, playing quarterback. But a chance again now. Trafiro wants to go through. Shouts of handball. Play on is the call. Rickson was looking for a penalty, and he would have eaten it up, no doubt. That said, Griffin McMaster might have something to say about it. So South, still a chance, but now Moreland regrouping. Over 20 minutes played in the first half. Our opening VPL live presentation for season 2012. We're down here at the brand new Lakeside Stadium. South and the Zebras. It's the Zebras now. Through Abbott, who's been live early. Kaya will make the run, but it's Kim now with the ball. Looks to put it in. Guess he was looking for Stu Nicholson, the former West Bromwich Albion man. But he just shrugged the shoulders to his Korean compatriot. Another chance for South. Trafiro to Trafiro. Won't be the first or last time we'll be saying that throughout season 2012. Odor. Trafiro. South looking to build again. It's a compact midfield at the moment. De Moraes just finds the ball in the middle. Sets it up for Rickson. Not a great first touch. What can he do with a second? He's still in play, but the wily old man, Carl Recchia. Well, not that wily. He's coughed that straight back up. South another chance. De Moraes, and that's taken a wicked curve off Kaya. They earned the corner. It was De Moraes that sent it in. Kaya got his boot to it, and it very nearly caused some headaches for Griffin McMaster. De Moraes will leave the corner for Glenn Chafiro. Walking Chafiro muster. Hooks it in, and Rickson was there. In fact, it was Luke Biles that flew. Rickson was, of course, there, but it was Biles that flew through the air, managed to get his head on it, but nowhere near troubling former Brisbane Roar and Oakley man, Griffin McMaster. So both teams with chances in the early going, although nothing super clear cut. Entertaining, but about to say cautious. Wouldn't say a cautious start. But both teams at this stage just feeling each other out. Clash of bodies with Chafiro and Weir. Now a bit of a karate kick from Lally. Kaya trying to work their way through that tight midfield, Moreland, but not having a heck of a lot of luck with it. Well timed there from Ciatis. Gets the applause from the crowd. South. They've tried the right flank, they'll now try the left. Rickson sends it in. There's bodies there. De Moraes. And a telling touch there from Urson Kaya. Kim. Again, it was Faraday that he was finding. Big-bodied, likely type is Faraday. Chafiro. Joy F. And Joy F has set that one right in the back of the net. And just like that, South Melbourne christened Lakeside Stadium. Brilliant build-up, quiet build-up, but that just shows the talent of both Trafiros. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Joy F, right place, right time. Still had the job to do one arm with McMaster and blasted it just to the right of him. And it's NSL days with the music here at Lakeside Stadium. So, trivia question at South Melbourne Knights coming up for years to come. Who scored the first goal at the revived, rebuilt Lakeside Stadium? Number 25, Kyle Joy F. South Melbourne 1, Moreland Zebras 0. That goal coming around the 26-minute mark. So Moreland, they've been jabbing with South Melbourne, and it's certainly not a knockout punch there, but it's one that would have sent them down to the floor. How will they react? Free kick in good territory here. Kim in short for Lally. And Kaya, who's been busy early. Kim comes barging in. Tommy Matthews not super worried about it, gives him the pat on the head. Kaya again. For Moreland. Getting the free kick again. Very much Route 1 stuff for them, just trying to find some space through the middle of the park. Just looking for a breakthrough. Ball in from Lally, goes to the right of the 18-yard box. Dealt with by South. Grossman now. Still a chance, and they will get another throw in. Grossman just pacing the touchline, had a chance to give it to Nicholson. Instead he goes short. South won it back, they have not. Moreland Ooh, had a big chance there. I think it was Weir to put it in the box and really give the South Melbourne defence something to think about. It's now Recchia. Curving ball, looked for Weir again. Could not find him. Nicholson plays it off. And Moreland through Recchia. Chip. Again, South Melbourne's defence were alert to it. Been alert to much of it as McMaster comes out of his area. Sends it long. South Melbourne defence is there. Kim backheels it to no one, but again recovers. Chance for the Zebras. Grossman lays it off. Grossman comes back, but he's not ready for it. Ooh, a scuffed pass there. Opens it back up Kim. So the Zebras, they're building. Struggling to get into the final third, but controlling the ball well through the middle of the park. Although he's made a live in there, Kaya, and then Fernando de Moraes just giving him a little push, and Kaya throwing the pill back at Fernando's head. And I dare say, good stuff from the ref there. Some refs might be inclined to pull out a card for that. It's pretty frivolous stuff. And Fernando is a Brazilian. If he was another Brazilian of the Rivaldo variety, he might have gone down like he'd been shot. So hopefully he's 7 or 8 years in Australia. Fernando might even be longer these days. He's learnt not to go down for that sort of stuff. Anyway, bit of byplay. Never hurt anyone. Just adds to the spice of the clash. Let's just keep an eye on Kaya and Fernando for the rest of the game. Trafiro, 1. Over to Trafiro, 2. Who loads up from about 30 yards out. But that one, straight onto the running track, just past. I don't know if we can pick it up on the screen, the jumping car. I'm probably too excited about that, but not sure I got enough time at half time to head down and have a crack. Ball curved back from Faraday. Looks for Kim. Didn't get him. It's all the way back to Biles. Gavalas. Not a great clearance. Only gets about 20 metres of territory. It's bashed down by Matthews. And we'll reset with Abbott. He goes all the way up the other end of the park. Sent long. Clever kick from Nicholson. Found Weir. Weir's coughed it up. Another chance for South Melbourne. Into the final third. Rickson, I should say, went. Didn't get the pass. Trafiro. And then just a little clip of the heels. Wizbos action from, I think it might have been Weir again. So Weir getting the thick of it. Half hour gone here at Lakeside, and South a free kick in dangerous territory. Trafiro curves it in, straight into the arms of McMaster. Big Steve O'Dorp had worked his way up, but McMaster, with the sun in his eyes, does very, very well. Kim looks to go down the line, looking for Stewie Nicholson. First touch is heavy, too heavy. So another half chance goes begging for the Zebras. Matthews not getting a lot of movement from his midfield. And another heavy clash of bodies. Ooze from the mums in the crowd. And just getting into a quiet patch. Reasonably innocuous start to the game. If you're just tuning in, fired up, I'd say, between about 15-25 minutes. Perhaps just in a bit of a lull at the moment. Trafiro doesn't want to hear about that though. Sends it in. Hush of bodies. Weir. He's got a man on here and he's going to lose the pill if he's not careful. He does temporarily. It was Dimmy Ciaras tracking him down. Trent Rickson turns to Joyef again. The follow-up It's Joyev. He can't believe it. Moreland can't believe it either. Great second effort. It was innocuous. It was Trefiro in the midfield. He's turned around. He's put up his head. What's he found? But Kyle Joyev charging down the left. Not a fantastic first touch, but did just enough. Had the presence of mind to follow it up. And Kyle Joyev would be our early tip for man of the match at this stage. He's got amongst it, and more importantly, he's got amongst the goals, and Griffin McMaster, who hasn't had a heck of a lot to do in the opening 35 minutes here at Lakeside. He was beaten cold on the first goal. This second one, he came off his line, as he was probably inclined to do, but it's cost his team. He'd no doubt get plenty of advice on the training paddock from Jeff Olber, one of the great glovesmen in Australian football history. Played plenty of football at national and also Victorian level, and has been involved in the coaching scene for quite some time. So he's in safe hands there, McMaster, but he might get some fatherly advice at half-time. So around 34, 35 minutes played, 10 minutes out from half-time, and the South Melbourne fans are up and about. Zebras, perhaps being manhandled there was Faraday. Kim. He's proven to be a live wire so far for the Zebras, this time being tracked by two South defenders. Eventually retreats for Kaya. Sends it wide. Jackie Chan style stuff from Ciatis. Nearly fell for Kim, who was waiting. And then an aimless long ball from South, going all the way down for Chris Grossman. Abbott nearly got himself in trouble there with Rickson just lurking like a big albatross. Recchia typically makes good decisions with the ball. This time sends it long. Nicholson was the target man up forward for the Zebras, but South Melbourne defence having nothing of it. Some more Jackie Chan stuff from Dimi Ciatis, and he might just want to, although it's been effective, he's copped a free kick for that one and might just want to keep that in check. So the Zebras have got two forward. One of them is Nicholson. Went over his head all the way back. McMaster. Not a fantastic kick from him on this occasion. Came down, cries of handball. Might have just come off the chest. Reyes still looking to work his way into the game. Gavalas. Oh, Gavalas just took his time with that goal kick, and Stu Nicholson was bearing down and gave him something to think about. Almost a horrible mistake from Gavalas. In the end, it does become a South Melbourne throw. Steve O'Dore looking to launch this one into the midfield. Rickson over the top, only as far as Recchia. Now Cosma slips over, gains his feet, but not well enough. O'Dore again is happy to track that one over the line. So Gavalas just gets a bit of advice from his defenders to take it a little bit easy this time. We'll be happy to know it is a goal kick and there's no Zebras in sight. First touch there from Norton. Sent the ball backwards 20 metres for South. Now look to get back to where he started. Send it down the line for Joyev. He can't keep it. Cialis, right place, right time, intercepts. It'll be Matthews to receive this one on the right flank for South Melbourne. Park just tracking South Melbourne at the moment. Just trying to play balls to feet. Just trying to be patient to work their way out. Offside by a mile there. Trent Rickson gives a wry smile to the assistant ref. But not a lot to argue with there. As Recchia sends it down, looking for Nicholson. Odor is there. Nicholson patted it down beautifully. Was hoping that Stephen Weir continued his run into the area. The run never came. The goal kick for South Melbourne does. Another clearance from South. Both goalkeepers struggling with those to a point. Nicholson looking inside for Weir. It's now Kim. Wants support. Eventually finds it. Kaya sends it back in. There's plenty of black and white in the box there. Can Nicholson recover? He can't. Joy F. He's got his brace in the first half. Right now he's going to distribute for some teammates. Being Trent Rickson. It's a 3-on-1 for Rickson. Goes back inside. Into the byline. Looking for support. It was coming from De Moraes, but too late. And plenty of shirts. And Melbourne fans, well, an attacking run for South that promised so much and in the end delivered 0. Zebras. Kim, sliding tackle from Ciaris. Wasn't super timed. The ball comes through and the flag goes up for Joy F. That one not so clear cut. A little bit of finger waving. In fact, we actually have the advantage of a replay of sorts. You don't at home, but I'll keep one eye on the play and one eye to see if this one was offside. Ooh, very close call. And we apologise. A few tech difficulties, no replays. We will have those throughout season 2012. Do not worry about that. And I just had a quick look, and we don't want to get too controversial, but a very close call. Let's leave it at that. As a long ball comes down the line for Faraday. Again, just too long. It's got a Ben Sigmund look to him. As Vincent Faraday, different player of course, very different player, but similar build, similar haircut. Benny Sigmund, who's enjoying great success with the Wellington Phoenix and the New Zealand All Whites at the World Cup. About to say last year, but it's 2 years ago now almost. And of course, had a big run for the Faulkner Blues right here in the VPL. Rickson misses it. Tripping over feet there was Joy F. Now it's Abbott. Grossman. And it's the easy criticism for commentators to have, but there have been, at times, some aimless long balls. They've played some good football through the midfield at times, some patient work from the Zebras, but then there's also been some balls down there that I'm pretty sure at half-time Stu Nicholson and Vincent Faraday, who have been the target men up there, probably haven't really appreciated the service they would have liked with those long passes coming through. It's Demi Ciaris who's now on the deck for South Melbourne. He's been throwing some wild kicks around himself this time. He'll need some attention from the South Melbourne medical staff. So far so good in the career of Peter Salakis at South Melbourne. Gus, as he's of course affectionately known in these parts and right across Victorian football. So still some medical attention, so a bit of a breather. We can't be too far away from half-time. Here at Lakeside, if you are tuning in, it is South Melbourne 2 goals to the good. Both of them coming from Kyle Joyef, the big 2-5, doing great work down the left flank. The first one, he finished off some brilliant work from, I'm going to say Jason Trefiro, it might have been Glenn, thinking Jason, and just went one-on-one with Griffin McMaster and slotted it beautifully, just past him to the right. And Ciaris makes his way to his feet now. And the second one, well, there was some very much some individual brilliance from the big fella. One touch, two touch. The third touch was the back of the net being bulged. The Zebras, it was Faraday who had the header. Plenty of shirts, but they want to be quick here. Shouts of handball from the Zebras, and now loading up was Raymond Lally. Had the strike from about 20 yards out. Wasn't a heck of a lot on it, but Peter Gavalis was probably unsighted for most of it. And quite happy that in the end it came straight down his awaiting arms. So the final plays of Chapter 1 of Round 1 action here at Lakeside being played out. Ciaris back on his feet. Glenn Trefiro and Joyef in combining well. Joyef gets up off his feet, and then a spectacular, I won't say dive, but a spectacular run through the air from Brad Norton. Not much in the tackle. It's Norton that will now get the throw. Zebras back in numbers here. Rickson being marked closely by Recchia. Ball goes across, looking for Trefiro, but it's going to be, in fact, Trefiro gets it to Moraes, to Matthews. Trefiro again, just chopped off in the middle of the park there by the Zebras. Can they counter? Bodies flying. We've got 4 players down. It looks like a scene from Braveheart at the moment out there. And finally a whistle. Looks like it was Faraday who might have clashed, I think, Ciaris. It is. So Ciaris has copped a couple of heavy knocks in quick succession. Might give Gus Salakis something to think about at half time. He's clutching his back and he's not looking fantastic, it has to be said. So 2 heavy clashes for him. Of course, there was the other clash with Trefiro as well. And the Zebras here giving the ball back to South Melbourne via Gavalas. Moraes beaten on the occasion by Kaya. Looks like that South have positioned back. Trefiro and De Moraes. Chance here for Rickson if Abbott cannot get it back successfully. He does, and again another rushed clearance from McMaster. Joyef. Seems South at this stage happy to walk it in. It's close to half time. Good run. Still a chance. And it was Brad Norton who, just like that, just kept dribbling his way into the 18-yard box. The Zebras were quite happy to jockey him back. And just for a second, it was flash point for the Zebras. 2-0 down at this stage. They certainly, to state the obvious, would not want to cop a third. It'd be a long way back from 3-0 down at half time. As Park can't quite get to that, Kaya will mop up. He's had a good battle at times with De Moraes. Just in front of our camera position here, in front of the main grandstand. I guess we'll call this the old grandstand now, here at Lakeside. Park just giving the pill up there to Matthews. Bit of sportsmanship that I'm not sure we'd necessarily see from a local player. And a heavy hit there from Kuzma. There's been plenty of argy-bargy, fair to say. I don't think it's been played in a particularly mean spirit by any stretch, but that said, there's been plenty of heavy hits thus far. Steve O'Dore, the skipper, sends one down. He's looking for Joy F, and why wouldn't he after the first half that he's had? Recce up. Here he is again, Joy F, picking Recce's pocket. Went inside, Rickson's there, but Abbott knew all about it. And there's another South player down on the, I guess I call it the St Kilda Road, or the city side of the stadium. Certainly facing towards the city. So will this draw the attention of the referee? What drew the attention was the whistle. So half-time here at Lakeside Stadium. It's South Melbourne 2, Moreland 0. Join us for the second half in a few minutes' time. So we're back here at Lakeside Stadium. I hope you enjoyed the break. The South Melbourne faithful certainly have Moreland Zebras the work to do in front of them. If you are just joining us, it is South Melbourne leading 2-0. Second half about to get underway. 2 goals from Kyle Joyef to christen the new Lakeside Stadium. But as we talk to, we're blue in the face in the football word. 2-0 is always a dangerous scoreline to lead by. The Zebras didn't have a mountain of chances, but certainly got down, although Peter Gavalis didn't have too much to worry about, it must be said, throughout that first half. They were looking to have a sharper edge in our second 45, no doubt. You'll be happy to know I've got the iPhone, the stopwatch, in front of me, and I will get it spot on this half. Although I have a short memory too, so that might actually, if the ref doesn't get underway quickly. Come on, ref. Let's get on with it. And we're back underway. South kicking off. It's Joyef. Did all his good work on the far side of the commentary position. We get to watch his magic up close here in the second half. Norton happy to hand it over to Biles here. Luke Biles asking where the 10 yards is. He eventually gets it. Biles goes long. Looks for Rickson. It's Grossman that sends it over the top. He'll do it all again, McMaster. Just wonder what the instructions were at half time from the boss of the Moreland Zebras, Dominic Barber, and his assistant Jeff Olver. What changes will we see? Park has controlled that middle part of the park, or bursts in that first half. Cosner. Joyef with a high kick. Goes for the hop, skip and a jump. It's not enough to save South from a throw-in. Grossman. Sends it down the line. Faraday just pulled up short for a second there. Looks like he's fine. Just looking to use the outside of the right boot there. Joyef to find Rickson. Chance now for South. Rickson, top of the 18-yard box, and a brilliant save just on the line from William Abbott. Heart in your mouth stuff for Griffin McMaster. The clearance was no good at all. It will result in a South Melbourne corner from Trafira. He goes short. Norton puts it in the area. Over the top, and another header straight into the arms of McMaster. This time, he sends it along the ground to Park. Zebras very nearly found themselves 3 goals down. Looking to fight back. Nicholson. Grossman. Goes across the ground. Probably looking for the curl. Didn't quite get it. Kaya. Faraday. Chance now for Nicholson. Gavalis makes the save. Steve O'Dwyer clears. Stephen Weir involved in the build-up there too, so hasn't had a heck of a lot to do so far, Peter Gavalis. As we wait for the ball to come back. One thing about the new running track here means that it's a long way to go and collect the ball if it eludes the ball boys. And that was, I just had the advantage of the delay, having a look at the replay. A good save from Gavalis. This half has the disadvantage that his opposite number Peter Gavalis had, Griffin McMaster had, which is staring down the barrel of the sun, probably slightly weaker this half. Park, tight space, only gets it as far as Biles. It's the clear, it's now O'Dore. Kaya. The Moraes. He's got a man on. Sensed him. Wins it back. Ciaris. Norton. Trying to break through the midfield there. South. Not successful. Lally. Back for Abbott, who made a plunging save just moments into this second half. That saved the bacon of the Zebras. Abbott again. Recchia gets just one boo from someone in the stands versus the chorus he copped. The boo boys might still be lining up at the bar. Park. A high work rate throughout the game. Faraday dishes off for Park. Now makes a run into the area, but it's chopped from South Melbourne. Now from distance. Well, ended up more like a pass, and probably would have been better suited putting a pass in there. But you find it might have been a shot from Raymond Lally, the Irishman. It's had Europa League, I should say, football with the Cobber Ramblers. Football club, I've got to say, this commentator doesn't know a heck of a lot about. No doubt enjoying his crack down here in VPL football here in Melbourne. Ball sent down. It's Cosma now. Faraday looks for the overlap with Cosma. He's being tracked. Wins it back. Looks in the middle. Nicholson turns. He's got half a chance here. Fires. And followed up and very nearly thought it was looking like an own goal situation for half a second there from Luke Biles. But that does him a disservice. He did very well to mop up. It was Faraday who just did some good work. And I said Nicholson, the pats on the head seem to be going to Stephen Weir, so it may well have been Weir. The corner now, curled in. Abbott was flying at the back. And again, the ball boys with their work cut out with them now, with 40 metres of running track behind them. 7 minutes played in the second half. Here at not Bob Jane, at Lakeside Stadium. South Melbourne 2-0, courtesy of a brace from Joy F. McMaster sends it long over the head of his midfielders. Chance to mop up again. Gallis just picks up the ball. Stu Nicholson just bearing down on him. Why take the risk? Yavalis. Rickson always posing a threat. He scored in his VPL days at a clip of nearly a goal a game. Will he get one today? I guess we'll find out. It's our goal scorer down at the moment, Kyle Joyef. Referee just coming over. It looked like it might be Gianni Donetis down on the sideline. He might get the call up here, and if it is the end of the day for Joyef, you can imagine he's going to get one hell of a reception from the crowd here. And it's looking more and more like it will be the end of the day for our double goal scorer here. Brace, and a well-deserved round of applause from the crowd here. Kyle Joyef comes off looking like an ankle injury there. 53 minutes, and it's Johnny Denitis. No stranger to South Melbourne, but one of the players that Gus Salakis has brought with him from Northcote City. They wear similar kits, and there's certainly a similar feel to their team lists in season 2012. Looking forward to the South Melbourne Northcote clash some stage. No doubt there'll be, well, a little bit said between the punters. There's been a little bit of going, toing and froing, and of course they were co-tenants last season as well. So there's plenty there. And hello to everyone tuning in right around Melbourne, Victoria, and of course the world. If you are outside of Australia, give us a shout out on the VPL Facebook page. For that matter, if you're anywhere, give us a shout out. Need to organise some sort of prize for the shout outs. Might be one of the improved Savlakis. I'm told the Savlakis are great down here at Lakeside in the new venue. Must say it is noticeable. Of course, the venue now still home to South Melbourne, but not operated by South Melbourne, and operated by the Park Trust here. Melbourne Knights 0, Hume City 0. That's the around the grounds report we're getting here at Lakeside Stadium. So just a sleepy start, I'd describe it. Start to the second half here. It's Moreland that will have to get a wriggle on at some point. Of course, these situations, all it will take is a goal from the Zebras to spark the game back to life. Quite often when it's 0-0, we say the game needs a goal. Well, 55 gone here, and you're starting to feel that we need a Zebras goal, because South Melbourne at this stage looking quite happy to hold on to their 2-goal advantage. Cosma doesn't want a bar of that though. Barges his way through midfield. Then Kaya was looking for him. Didn't find him. He's been good, Kaya, but that was not his best work of the afternoon by any stretch. Nando da Reyes. He's been busy today, but certainly not his brilliant self by any stretch. Verity now for the Zebras. Look at Kim on the left. It's going to get intercepted by Tommy Matthews. So one of the few times throughout the game that the Korean will be beaten for pace. Matthews just circle to it. South now looking to build up. Trafiro again. Putting a through ball through for, and he turns around and looks to the left side of the pitch. Pitch for Brad Norton. So a little bit of infighting for the South Melbourne faithful. Kim sends it down looking for Weir. He brought it left. Weir now into the back. Looking for Faraday. Brings it down. And it was Denitis that was all over it and sent it back. Can't be accused of a poor work rate. Faraday is already back in the middle of the park, trying to win it back. Trafiro. Rickson trying to work his way up the park. Trafiro. Half chance here now for South. They spin it wide. Looking for Rickson. Kaya's there. Rickson barges into the back of Kaya. What will the ref do about this? And straight away, Rickson looks like he's done himself a mischief, or it might just be cramp, was automatically trying to stretch. Kaya, former, if it is Kaya, it is, former AIS lad, back to his feet. And the good news for the game and for the Moreland Zebras in particular is he looks fine. In fact, out of that altercation, it looks like Rickson is the one who's come off second best. Just gives the thumbs up to Kaya. And just like that, we're back underway. Rekia. Very much the quarterback for this Zebras team. Diagonal long ball. Looking to cap. Trying to catch the South Melbourne defence napping. Fair to say, through Matthews and O'Doyle, they were not. Gavalas saw Norton, had some space, but that was quickly shut down by Kozma, the Slovenian. Just another part of this international team that the Zebras have put together. Chance now, outside of the boot, and Vincent Faraday. Well, it was brought down for him. He tried a bit of Dennis Burkamp work with the outside of the boot, but he didn't have the accuracy, and more importantly, didn't have the power. Didn't look like it was going to trouble Peter Gavalas too much at all. And again, the Zebras today just have struggled to find that cutting edge as Dejan Radicic looks to come on for Jungo Kim. So a good day, well, certainly a high work rate, and he gets a few little claps from the Zebras fans. The Korean has gone through a mountain of work today, but it's the ex-Springvale man, Radicic, who works his way onto the park wearing number 5. As Gavalas looks to wind up, we have hit the hour mark in the game. 2 goals to South Melbourne, and the substitution count sits at 1-1. Moreland starting to show a bit of hunger. Work down the left flank this time from Stuart Nicholson. Man who's experienced EPL football with West Bromwich Albion. Seen the bright lights of the Premiership, but no doubt enjoying the surrounds here today at this marvellously, essentially reconstructed almost from scratch, Lakeside Stadium. Zebras through Kaya. Goes in. Lurking at the back was Kozma, but had too much on it. Kozma still tracking the play here from South Melbourne. Glenn Trefiro, brilliant in the first half, as was his brother Jason, who nearly gets taken out there by Lally. South go long from Biles. Zanettis almost kept it in, but he did not. Radicic brought it in for Kozma, who just copped a little bit of incidental contact. Wins the free kick. Grossman giving him a run down the right. He elects to go back through Abbott. Radicic setting a task there for Abbott. McMaster, who has, in the opening 17.5 minutes of this second half, except for the very first minute or two, has had not much to do. Zebras again on the counter. They've got numbers, although one of those, Raymond Lally, goes falling down, and just Lally loses his feet. The Zebras lose possession of the ball. So, again, just slowly but surely starting to give the South Melbourne defence a little bit of work to do, as Danidis again got there but couldn't control it. Grossman was looking for Faraday. He's cut off by Bile. Every player in the park within about 35 metres of each other at the moment, as some more movement at the station on the Zebras bench. Expecting another substitution in a few moments' time. Stand by for that. Ball through the middle for South, coughed up. Chris Grossman has had plenty to do today, and he's done it pretty well, it must be said. As is this youngster, Kaya. Just puts his head up, doesn't see a heck of a lot. Weir nods it on. I think it was Faraday that he was looking for. Just couldn't quite get there again. Ball bouncing around midfield. Zebra player there, Lee, not happy at all, having some words with the ref. Ref saying play on, and quite rightly. Steve O'Dore closed down by Weir. Does the good work, but it's now Ciatis. He's got a man on. Didn't know much about it and was collected. Pretty innocuous. Play on was the call. De Moraes to Norton. Fernando again. Just dancing with the touchline. Denitis just making life a little too easy there for Carl Recchia. Aerial challenge. Straight back down Recchia's throat. He looks up. You can see 3 silver shirts and only 1 black and white one. One of them is O'Dore, who headed that one down. Decisions to be made now for Biles. Decides to go. Went down the line looking for Norton, who was tracked pretty well there by Cosma. Weir. It's been a handful at times today for South Melbourne, but hasn't ultimately been able to set up goal. Abbott, another one. He's had plenty to do, and he's done it with aplomb for the most part. Kaya. Zebras, just a lot of passes here to not get very far at all. Recchia can report the Boo Boys are back from the bar. Copping plenty from the fans here, the Slovenian Cosma. Does it well, went down the line, was looking for Nicholson. And it looks like Cosma's got one to go on with, as they say. And he's not looking great shape at the moment. Zebras players heading over to the technical area, just looking for some advice, or more likely just some water at this stage. Gus Salakis outside of his technical area too. So we'll see what the referee does. Don't think there's going to be a card coming. Plenty of medical attention being dished out to Nache Cosma. Clock ticking over 22 here in the second half, so 67 minutes gone. South Melbourne 2, the Moreland Zebras 0. And Nache Cosma, no doubt they're going to have a check him here on the bench. He's been quite lively throughout the game, so not sure the Zebras at this stage want to lose him automatically. They have sent... In fact, it looks like there is a bench player. Hard to tell exactly who, of course, with bibs on. But there might be a change imminent, although Cosma's now back on his feet. Zebras through Radicic. And then a bit of a haphazard run from Lally. Forward South Melbourne, another opportunity. Rickson, often the target man, looking to turn provider. And Jimmy Ciatis, who a few heavy knocks before half time, is still out there working away. But is just giving the hop, skip and jump as he runs off, so he's looking a little bit ginger. He may well be the subject also of a substitution shortly. Sun setting here on an autumn day, the opening round of the VPL. We say it's the best comp outside the A-League. We're pretty confident in saying it. Cosma, who's back. Grossman. Just a lazy pass down the line for Nicholson, who had an equally lazy run, and he throws his arms up at Don Barber, the coach, as another one of his teammates goes down. It's the kind of reaction you'd expect to see if it was one of his opponents. He was kind of jack of it. Cosma, who's of course just come back on from a knock himself, I think is quite welcome, or quite au fait with this break at the moment. And it's in fact Dejan Radicic who finds himself down. Looks like maybe some knee work getting done there, testing the mobility. And the South Melbourne boys, De Moreland just hogging the Gatorade bottles down there, much to the delight of Jason Trefiro. So feels like a bit of pre-season football at the moment, where we have our drinks breaks. Not quite necessary on a, not quite chilly, but getting chilly at the moment day. And Radicic, who's only been on the park since the 60th minute, so about 9 or 10 minutes, has come off. And it looks like Luca Riardo will be replacing him. So a short spell. That is in fact the substitution. Yeah, it is. So ex-Geelong, or North Geelong man, North Geelong Warriors of course, the great club down in Sleepy Hollow. Luca Riardo, number 12, works his way on, and it's a short day for Radicic. Recchia. Abbott. Chaya. Clever use of the ball. Inside, clever use of the boot, I should say. Inside, sends it down the line. The assistant referee gives him the thumbs up for a throw-in. Chaya takes it. Where will the inventive play come from for the Zebras? Where will it come from? Where will these 2 goals they need to just get back to level? By the same token, South Melbourne, have they got another goal or 2 in them over the final 20 odd minutes of this game? Cosma showing plenty of aggression at the ball. The assistant referee says too much. Just knocking Brad Norton to his feet, the ex-Adelaide United man, and he himself. So I don't know if it's just the round one testing these players out, of course, an exhaustive pre-season, but this is the real stuff now. No drinks breaks, and we're playing, of course, for premiership points. Just under 20 to play here at Lakeside Stadium. The ball comes down. Grossman goes for 6. De Moreland links with Rickson. Can Rickson get it back inside? He loses the ball. Worries a little bit more about his opponent than the Pill for a second there. Lost it. He had the Needies with a good run that looked reasonably unmarked into the area. Just couldn't get it back in time to set up a third, or a potential third, goal for South. Kaya now. He's seen enough. He wants to do it all himself. Goes on a 60-metre run down the left flank. South defence said we've seen enough of that. They send the ball out. He goes short to Nicholson. In tight space. Weir was dispossessed, or probably never actually did possess the ball, and as we can see, that sun just getting in the eyes now as South Melbourne look to attack the Clarendon Street end. No one's super interested in tracking that one down. And Tom Matthews, who did plenty of work in the first half, sends this one nice and long for Rickson. He's on the right, but there's plenty of Zebra shirts in the box. He's going to have to go himself. Then falls over his feet. He says it was a penalty. South fans not so sure, I think. And the referee is sure that it wasn't. Another counter from the Zebras. Cosma is out on our side. If they can get it to him, they look to. But it took too long and it wasn't precise enough. Norton was there, although Cosma ends up with it. Goes in short for Grossman. And they earn themselves a corner. So, after 20, 25 minutes in this second half of beating around the bush, The Zebras now looking to put a sharp edge on what has been a decent amount of possession and a decent amount of work through midfield, but work, it must be said, they have failed to finish off with any fluency at all. And that one, it's almost the story of the day. Far too long was the corner. Abbott ends up taking possession of it outside of the 18-yard box. Looks to come back in. Matthews sends it away for South. Benitez. He's being tracked by Cosma. Does he? No, he doesn't. And in the end, a solid two-footed tackle from Riardo saved the moment for the Zebras. Rickson again just showing signs of cramp. Quarter hour to play. Tofiro of the Jason variety has been good, but certainly nowhere near as present in this second half. As I said, probably to be expected opening round of the season. There's going to be some tired boys out there and probably some bruised boys too, as we said. Plenty of body contact. De Moraes, well, he's just starting to come into the game. Goes inside, comes back out. South through some traffic. Go long, but there's no one there on the end of it to finish off the good work by, I think it was Tom Matthews. He was trying to finish it off. Give the 1%er to get through. And we will see another substitution here for South Melbourne. It's Dimi Hatimoratis coming on. Who will it be? It'll be Trent Rickson. So, no goal on debut for South Melbourne, Trent Rickson. But certainly got through some work and did exactly what you'd expect from the big fella, which is provide a target up forward. He gets a warm round of applause from the home faithful. And it's Hatimoratis that works his way on, gets the final instructions from the gaffer. No doubt work himself. Very much a different type of forward for South Melbourne. Hasn't got the big lumbering, well, not lumbering, I don't think Rickson's lumbering by any stretch, but certainly hasn't got the big target frame. Speedy little customer. Almost got a first touch there. Trafiro. Hasn't been given a lot of room to work in. That back here was too clever by half. Another chance now for the Zebras on the break. South have bodies back in the middle. Nicholson's one of them. Faraday's another, as they have been all day. Definitely a frustrating day at the office for those two thus far. Is there a goal to come to turn that frustration into a bit of happiness? Recchia. First touch wasn't great. You could tell that he was ready at this stage to shape up, albeit from 40 yards, because that's perhaps the stakes we're at for the Zebras. Need to score and need to score soon. Another clearance from Norton. Recchia, who's just starting to work his way a little bit further forward. He senses that the time is nigh for the Zebras to strike. Faraday sends it long. Gavalas followed up. And lucky for him, he's parried it straight back into the path of his skipper, Steve O'Dore. And Vincent Faraday said he's been frustrated today. He was looking to end that frustration with a cracking strike. Wasn't brilliant, but with that sun in Gavalas' eyes, Gavalas can think himself lucky that it ended up in his awaiting hands. So another corner for the Zebras, and it's another long one. Far too long. They had bodies waiting for it, and that does, well, Steve Weir, he's butchered, it has to be said, those two corners that the Zebras have had in the last 10 minutes. For a team that has been short on gilt-edge chances throughout the game, they want to do better with those set pieces. No doubt something that coach Dominic Barber we're looking to work on this week out in the deep north of Melbourne, up Epping Way. Epping Stadium, of course, home of the Zebras. South now. Chance into the area. Hatzimuradis to Tofiro. Tofiro sends it wide, and that one, well, disappointing end to the build-up for South Melbourne. Some good work in tight spaces from Hatzimuradis and Tofiro, but I think it might have been Denides. Was it Denides out wide? Apologies if it wasn't. Janet. South just looking to break. Tofiro, Abbott. He knew all about it. Still through the middle of the park, looking to send it out to the right-hand side to Faraday. But that was setting him a task with three South Melbourne defenders bearing down upon him. Chaya. Looks up and sees some movement from his Zebras teammates. Probably not enough for his liking. South wanted the free. They don't get it. They do get possession of the ball, however. Tofiro again. Good work inside with Hatzimuradis. De Moraes. The back heel. Clever back heel. Hatzimuradis now. Can he get in there? Well, he did well early. The defence came. They clamoured down. South fans say they did so illegally. Just had that split second there. Dimi Hatzimuradis where he just had to strike. Surface in pretty decent condition, it must be said, in that 18-yard box down the Clarendon Street to the left-hand side. Looks like it's just a little bit heavy underfoot as the Zebras now attack the Lakeside end of Lakeside Stadium. Looks like a corner. And we will have one more substitution. For the Zebras, it's number 13, Brandon Defina. He's going to work his way on. So Brandon Defina getting some instructions straight away from Carl Recchia. Raymond Lally, the Irishman, is the substitute. Hasn't had a day or a debut to the season that he perhaps would have hoped for. So the Zebras, still a chance in attack, but it's now South Melbourne that are doing well on the break. They've got De Moraes out left. Will they get to him? He does. He nutmegs. Not sure he meant to, but he'll claim it. And wins it back again. So as the game has worn on, De Moraes has just worked his way into the contest. Quiet in the first half. He'll tell you that it didn't have to be that lively because it was the Zafiro boys. And of course Joyef that was lighting it up for South Melbourne. But he's just showing he's got the good engine and he's still going. Can't win it back on this occasion though. Recchia in tight space with Faraday. Still in tight space. Recchia. Looking for Faraday. Chopped off by the South defence. They win it back, but they don't. Zebras don't like it. So another chance to strike on the counter. Chopped off this time by the referee for the Zebras. Or the ref would say, by the Zebras foul play. Luke Biles. Looks up, sees De Moraes, ignores him. Instead goes for Hatzimuradis. Hatzimuradis to Denides. Doing a bit of work, then down the right, into the area, and just like that, he's worked hard all day, has he? Jason Tofiro Good working area for South Melbourne. Ball bouncing around. And Jason Trefiro finishing off some good work. Repeat there, number 23, Jason Trefiro, scoring the goal just for our media here in the stands. And you've got to say, after a big first half, it's nothing less than deserved for Jason Trefiro. It was always going to set the tone for season 2012, having he and brother Glenn come over to South Melbourne. So, on the 84th minute mark by my count, it's South Melbourne getting out to a 3-goal advantage. And it's starting to all look a little sad and sorry for the Moreland Zebras, who, to be fair, probably don't deserve a 3-0 scoreline. But when you have a dearth of opportunities that they've had today, it's always going to be tough. They look for another one here, and they earn a corner. The corners from this side, taken by Stephen Weir, have certainly been lacking. What can Chris Grossman serve up from the far side? Curls in, comes in low, scramble in the area, and Gavalos gets there. So, 85 minutes played. Some of the punters heading for the exits. Just listening for some scores from around the grounds, and it's the Knights trailing Hume City 1-0. And I didn't quite catch the other game. We send our producer online to perhaps try and find some around the ground scores for us. Zebras are not giving up. They're down 3-0. A reckless run in and a chance over the top. It was Brandon Defina who got that last touch on. But Gavalos got his... In fact, they might have taken a deflection. So it's another opportunity for Chris Grossman. That last corner was a tired one, but an effective one. It was flat, it was low, and it caused some headaches for the South Melbourne defence. Can the Zebras get something out of the afternoon? This one goes long, body's in there. Tefiro was the one that had the final header there to get the ball to momentary safety. Defina. Kaya. Defina again. Cosma. Showing no effects of his earlier tackle, and then just pushes straight into the back of Tom Matthews. Matthews obviously very certain it was a free kick because he collected the ball as he went over. Never a fan of that personally, even if you, I guess, in his defence, if you've just been shoved right in the back and you've heard the whistle, probably a good chance it's going your way. 87 minutes played, Lakeside, South Melbourne 3, Moreland Zebras 0. Jason Trefiro scoring in the 84th minute. Goals coming in the first half. Kyle Joyef scoring in the 26th and 33rd minute, or thereabouts, in the first half. And I can report that Heidelberg and Oakley out at the Village is still 0-0. So, certainly picked the right game if you wanted to see some goals today. 0-0 and a 1-0 elsewhere around this great city of Melbourne. Free kick now for South Melbourne in a dangerous position for the Zebras, and Griffin McMaster, who's seen 3 go past him today, he's going to want to make sure he doesn't see a 4th. I would fancy De Moraes to take this, given his sprightly status. A couple of others crouch over it. Possibly just a little bit too far out for the Brazilian to weave his magic. He could prove me wrong. It bounces and McMaster comes off. So didn't quite have the curve or the power. Nonetheless, it does go out for a South Melbourne. A South Melbourne corner. Inside the last Just about inside the last minute of regulation time. Trefiro might just try and spot up Brad Norton here. He's well outside. No, it came in wickedly. Norton will now get a chance. Look to load up, then dishes back out for Trefiro. He's got Cialis at the back, but Hatzimuratis was at the front. I was looking at the far post, but it was the near post where Demi Hatzimuratis was waiting. In the end, pretty simple stuff for South Melbourne. And Griffin McMaster wasn't given a heck of a lot of chance to save that one. And just like that, after, it must be said, a first half hour in the second half from South Melbourne where they were just sitting in first gear, they've put a bit of icing on a first round victory cake here at Lakeside Stadium in front of what must be upwards of 1,000 fans here for their homecoming. So into injury time. South Melbourne 4, Moreland Zebras 0. And will that be the killer blow? They've been about as vibrant as you can be, the Zebras, looking down a unfavourable scoreline for much of this second half. But they can be forgiven for just hanging their heads down now into injury time. South still looking for another Hatzimuratis, but the flag is up for offside. I said you get something different from Trent Rickson with Hatzimuratis, and what you get is just out and out pure pace. And he's used that to effect. The super sub today for Gus Salakis' South Melbourne side. McLaren in corner. Fans finding voice. Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, twilight football it's become here at Lakeside. Cosma, number 19. Never given up today. Nor is this man, Faraday. Has probably not had the service. In fact, it was not Faraday. Apologies. Yes, it was. I was on the right track all along. He's probably not had the service that he perhaps would have liked. Certainly a hellfire introduction to life in the VPL. Errant tackle there for South Melbourne. Ricky just sitting off the right here. Will he get the ball? No, he'll work his way into the box. Zebras, the back heel. Gavlos has got some work to do. Decides to punch. De Moraes outside of the boot. Cosmo again. He's certainly wanting to run out the full 90 and then some. Rekia. Ball comes across. There's some numbers there for the Zebras. One of them's Grossman. Wins the corner again. Might have been O'Dore or Biles that sent it over. I think it's the latter. So another roll of the dice for the Zebras. That one's got a wicked curve on it. But Gavalis knows plenty about it. Gets it in the gloves. South Melbourne still keen to play the ball out from the back. Cosmo again. Final whistle. Not far away, you would think. One more burst of the trumpet from South Melbourne. Hatzimuratis still trying to tussle with the Zebras defenders. McMaster, some of those clearances today, those goal line clearances, just lacked the requisite penetration and precision that he would probably like. Hatzimuratis' back was delved into there. No whistle. Treviro, Hatzimoradi says he scored another, he hasn't. Just over the top, showed a fair amount of skill. Down on one knee to get that one, but couldn't send it into the back of the net. So plenty of work and thinking to be done by Dom Barber and Jeff Olber. Full-time whistle sounds here at Lakeside Stadium. It's a formidable scoreline for South Melbourne, running out 4-0 victors over the Moreland Zebras here, round 1 of the VPL. The goal scorers in first half, Kyle Joyef scoring in the 26th and 33rd minute. Jason Chafiro then came in at 84th, and in an injury time, Dimi Hatzimorade, say second half substitute, found the back of the net. Big win for South Melbourne. Mark Van Aken, on behalf of the entire team here from VPL Live, we'll see you again next week.